Hey folks, tonight's episode of Live from My Mother's Basement is brought to you by Diablo Moon. They have the greatest culinary craftware. One of my favorites is the pizza cutter. Check them out at diablomoon.shop. We are live. Oh, come on, you son of a bitch. Don't stagnate like that. Hold on.
What happened?
It's just going. It's going. We're probably even live right now. This takes a moment. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Welcome.
Do you have any viewers?
Son of a bitch. We're going to find out.
Do you have any viewers?
No. Once the
no. Nobody's fucking
here in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
Once again.
Nobody's fucking watching. Nobody.
This is Jim David, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Comedian.
And now we're doing it because last week he ran out of fucking juice on the computer. You didn't plug it in.
Not only did I run out of juice, I ran out of power.
We ran out of power.
We ran out of, what do you call it? Stream power.
Streaming.
So we're going a little earlier today so we can make sure that we get it in the pocket. And then we got to go downstairs to the 4th floor to do 2 shows. One at 8:45 and one at 10:45. I don't know why they make it 45. What's wrong with 8:30?
I think it might be 10:30 tonight. I'll check.
Is that right?
I don't know. I'll look.
Jim David and myself are on the Harmony of the Seas by Royal Caribbean. I usually say by Royal Caribbean. I guess I should say Royal Caribbean's Harmony of the Seas.
Jesse, that's the better one. Yeah.
Is that the better one?
Harmony of Disease. That's it.
Everybody
here's got COVID. Everybody on the goddamn ship has COVID.
Well, speaking of that, we all had to get checked.
Oh, did we?
So not only to be on this ship, you have the vaccine, but you have to have
the stool sample. I had the stool sample and the pap smear. I don't know how they did the pap smear on me, but they did it.
All right.
Great.
You one viewer. Hi. Okay, so we got viewers. Viewers, would you let me know if you can hear us tonight? Because we had a problem last week, and if you could let us know. Okay, so Sharon says yes. Good. Happy Tuesday, family.
Hello, Sharon.
Okay, great.
Hello, Sharon.
Sharon Pfeiffer is actually a comedian in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she performed with me at the Raz Room. In fact, now that we're going off the topic, the Raz Room at Meisner Park in Florida somewhere you should perform.
Really?
250-seat theater.
Really good.
And it's the old school rake where the stage is not up in the air. It just goes up in the air like that with the audience.
Oh, okay.
And you're down below.
And you're down.
And now it's wild. It's kind of a weird feeling.
What's the city? Do you know the city?
Boca Raton.
It's in Boca Raton, the Raz
Boca
Room.
Raton.
I'll check it out. Because I've performed at the Boca Black Box.
Okay.
But I've never done the Raz Room.
Well, the Boca Black Box won't be too happy if you play Meisner Park.
They won't be happy?
They're a little too close.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? What's wrong with doing one in January? You wait 6 months, you do the other one.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're selling tickets, who really cares?
They don't care. All they want is money.
Yeah. That takes us on a different subject. First of all, tonight's show is sponsored by Diablo Moon. Now, Diablo Moon was also the sponsor of last week's show, but if you remember, we had a hard time, or I had a hard time, making it happen because of the internet and how you have to pay for internet while you're on the ship. So Diablo Moon
he doesn't
is
want
with
to pay.
us.
He wants to get it cheap. He wants to get it free.
I want to get everything for free.
Yeah, right? You're going to steal it. You're going to fucking steal it.
He's from the South. He's
I'm
doing
from
New York.
I know.
And he lives in New York, and I live
know.
in the South.
Yeah, that's right. No, you live in California. You don't live in the South.
I live in the South of California, South California.
That's not the
Los
South.
Angeles. No, it's not the South. We're sponsored tonight by Diablo Moon, culinary craftware.
Cutlery.
Cutlery. Hey, don't say that. Culinary craftware.
I don't want to insult your sponsor. Diablo Moon is noted for their fine products. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Wouldn't you agree? They're noted for their fine products, Michael. Wouldn't you agree?
You know, you do that fantastic.
Oh, yeah?
I would like to see you do that more. And when you did that...
You're fine.
Who did you remind me of right away?
Who?
Come on now.
Probably from Family Guy, Stewie.
No, well, yes.
That's what everybody tells me.
Yes.
Everybody says it's Stewie from Family Guy.
Yes, definitely. But I'm also thinking something... what the hell was his name? With Liza Minnelli. Moon in New York
John
City.
Gielgud.
Okay, yes.
John Gielgud, the butler.
The butler.
Yes, yes. When he said I'm going out, and then he said I'll alert the media.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Remember that? What was that movie?
Arthur.
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 That was
Arthur.
a great
Very
movie.
clever movie. Yes.
Oh man! And then they made a remake and they ruined it.
Yeah, I know.
It's
Terrible. They ruined it. They ruin everything with the remake.
all right.
Except for West Side Story. They haven't ruined that. That's supposed to be great. That's supposed to be great.
We did a week on this ship already, Jim and I. And every night we do 2 shows, an early show and a late show. We've done a show in the theater, clean, dirty. We're having a lot of fun. Jim's been a performer for a long time. And we have these great back his critique, but I knew that he was right because I did do it. I was in one of these moods where, like, you know what, get the hell away from me. I'm just going to do my show and go to bed, and it showed, didn't it?
Yep.
All right, so I got a critique from
Well,
my
no, but
fellow
when you
entertainer.
open a show, you need to come out and do a little bit of bullshit with the audience. Like, how's everybody doing? Where is somebody's, we got anybody not from America? Do we, just a couple of minutes, and then you can start doing the jokes. But if you go right out and go, so I was in a Walmart with this fucking bitch, if that's the first thing that comes out of your mouth, the audience is going to go, I beg your pardon. You know what I mean?
I love his impersonation of me.
Well, it's not even my impersonation
it's good.
of you. It's not even my impersonation of you.
In my defense, we don't have a master of ceremonies on this show.
We do not. We usually do.
Usually do.
Usually.
And somebody would walk out on stage and do just that for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's usually one of the
Crew.
one of the crew staff, and they come out and go, everybody tonight is gonna hear you're gonna hear some comedy, some adult comedy. You're gonna hear some dirty words. Some dirty words. So you don't like it, the door's right there.
Yeah, usually they have staff who've
Yes.
never performed in
never.
their life.
Never.
As soon as they're done introducing you, they go behind the bar and make drinks. But the funniest thing is, sometimes, have you seen this? They'll do jokes that belong to the comedian from the week before.
Oh yeah, they'll just steal it. They'll just steal it. I've had numerous people tell me that they did so-and-so's doing your joke, and I'm like, well, I don't care.
If he does it
That
long
means
enough,
it's good. If they do my joke, I hope they do it right.
yes. But it would be funny if 3 or 4 months goes by and he's on stage, and all of a sudden he introduces you with your joke.
Oh, that would be. Well, you know what? I got in trouble with a comedian
You.
because this comedian told me this funny story that he saw on the ship.
Oh.
He told me this funny story. And then when I was up on stage, I just started telling that funny story that he told me.
Oh.
I didn't realize that he felt like he owned it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, no
He
kidding.
was just talking to me. And so I said, oh, by the way, I heard this. I said this on stage. And then I told his story, and he said, you stole my story. And I said, wait a minute. I didn't know it was part of your act. It was just something you told me over lunch. Do you know what I mean?
You threw it
Was I
away.
wrong? Was I wrong?
No, I would like to tell
I
somebody.
mean, I
else's
felt
story.
bad. I felt bad that he got upset.
Yeah.
That's what I felt bad about. But I mean, I guess if a comedian just tells you a story, you can't repeat it.
Sometimes
Everybody's
in our world of stand-up comedy,
everybody's so.
when someone walks out on stage, they call the master of ceremonies the MC, but it's really the master of ceremonies because they usually have the skill to corral an audience into watching what's yet to come. And it's a pleasant thing to have, especially when you get a knucklehead like me who walks out on stage and goes right into his routine. I normally don't. Sometimes I will say anybody from here, anybody from there, or whatever. But, last night was one of those nights where I was kind of like, let's just.
You
put
were in the
this
mood
down.
to be there. You wanted to go home. You wanted to get under the covers.
Stop talking to me. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, that's it. You didn't want to be there. And you know what? That's a occupational hazard that we have. We have to go up in front of several hundred people. What if we don't want to be there?
Like anybody going to a different job.
Yeah.
They don't want to go to work. Oh, I got to go to work
But
again.
usually they can go sit in their cubicle and nobody notices. We are the center of attention.
Or
Yeah.
like a bus driver. You get on the bus. You get on the bus. They drive the bus.
But
Nobody knows.
we have to go out and pretend like we care.
You cannot go on stage and look like you're in a bad mood.
Well, you know what?
I'm in a bad mood.
You know who Joy? You know Joy Behar.
Yes.
Yeah, well, Joy, I used to work with her at Catch a Rising Star, and she'd walk on stage, and sometimes the first thing out of her mouth was, I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood. And that was funny. You know, just because she's funny and she comes out with that Italian, you know, accent of hers. And
I've never seen
not
her
in the
do
movie.
stand up. I only see her on the TV
Her
talk
stand up,
show.
well, I got to tell you that her stand up back in the day was right up there.
Oh yeah.
It was very funny. Yeah, very funny.
Look, Australia. All right.
Australia?
So we're definitely.
We go to Australia?
Some people from Australia watching. The
Really?
show. Oh, you want to do an Australian?
Well, nah, it's real difficult. I can't do it.
That sounded pretty good to me.
Nah, I can't do it. You know.
As we're performing for many different years in the world of comedy, every once in a while you'll perform with somebody you enjoy being around, and every once in a while you'll enjoy being away from somebody that you don't want to be around. So we were talking about this because sometimes when you get on a ship like this, you don't know who the other entertainer is before you get here. You hope it's at least somebody you admire their work. When your show's over, you do a podcast or you write some jokes together, you go to lunch together, maybe even do something on one of the islands. But so you have a horror story, you don't have to say any names.
Well, no, I was just telling you before that I don't have to be best friends with whoever I work with.
Right.
But I just have to get along, and I always do. But the problem is that when I have to work with somebody whose act sucks, who has a terrible act. I mean, I worked with this one guy a few years ago, and I'm not going to tell you who it was. But, like, what the hell was he doing there? Because he comes out and he goes, some people push all the buttons in the elevator. I mean, what the fuck? That was his joke. That was his idea of a joke.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? He says, you know, and some people drive around in the motor scooters and hit people. I mean, what the fuck? It was awful. Just junk. Or you get somebody who's like really racist, or, you know, you get that.
Yeah.
Or there was one guy that I worked with, he was trying to be like Lenny Bruce and George Carlin and Bill Hicks all rolled into one.
Oh, really?
He was trying to go after the audience and really be cutting edge. This is not the place to do cutting edge.
No.
This is a bunch of people that they come to see us between dinner and whatever they're going to do in the next hour. Dancing or whatever.
Or see a play.
This is not the place to come out and push the comedy envelope.
No.
You know, I mean, you can try, and you can, if you can get away with it, good for you. But he was really trying, and like he said to this one woman was yelling at him because she said, "This is not funny," and he said, "This is on Oasis of this, you know what I mean, in the comedy club." He said, "If you don't shut up, I'm gonna come out there and put my cock in your mouth." And the whole audience went, you know, he got fired.
Did really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure there was a lot of people went and said that.
Oh, and had 50 people go up to the front desk and complain about him. But then I was on the show, so they drugged me down. It drugged me down with him. So then my agent called me and said, "What's going on? What happened?" Because they heard that the show was terrible, and it wasn't the show; it was him.
Yeah.
And he was bless his heart, he was on medication and he was fucked up.
Well, I can tell you, man. You know, being associated with somebody who does that sucks.
Yeah, it's hard.
Because you have nothing to do with it, and someone's going to say the show,
Yes.
not the comic.
The show.
And we're part of a show.
We're part of
so
the show.
Not really. It's not like we come out on stage together and tap dance.
Overture, curtain lights. This is it. What's that from?
Although I would
we'll
like
hit
to.
the hits. What's that?
I don't know.
No more rehearsing and nursing apart. We know every part by heart. What's that? You don't know that? Bugs Bunny. What's the matter with you?
That's from Bugs
That's the
Bunny.
theme from the Bugs Bunny show.
Oh man, Bugs
Tonight,
Bunny.
what heights will hit? On with the show. This is it. You don't know that? Oh man.
Well, I thought it was Bugs Bunny ripping off a play.
Well, no, it's actually the song, and he comes out with Daffy Duck, and the two of them are on the
and
stage.
they tap dancing. They got hats on with the
yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
Oh man, we got to be careful about
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck now because cancel culture says they're offensive.
They're not. They're not. Pepe Le Pew, they said, was offensive
Yeah, I don't know why.
because he's a rapist.
Because he's
a
raped.
Well, you know, oh my dear, would you come here to me? You know, they got upset about that, and it's
Yeah.
a cartoon.
I know.
I can understand.
I grew up
I
on those
understand.
cartoons.
I understand, but you know, don't cancel Pepe Le Pew. That's ridiculous. Let it go.
We were talking also about Jim has a huge vocabulary, very intelligent man,
Well,
and he comes up with these words, and then he'll say them either on stage in his act or off stage to me, and says, "Do you know what that is?" And I'm like, "No," and I'm gonna have to Google all of these words.
Well, the other night when somebody said they were from Canada,
Right.
I said, "What's it like living in a functioning democracy and not a plutocratic corporate Christo-fascist oligarchy run by racist rednecks, religious fanatics, and reactionaries?" And the whole audience goes, "What?" You know, it's like
I'm saying,
you've thrown
what
it out.
still? It's too
I
many
taught you a
words.
new word you didn't know this week.
Yes,
the
the
word
word.
is misanthrope.
Misanthrope.
And when you are a misanthrope, you are being, and you when you are a misanthrope is someone who has a low opinion of mankind, who detests or hates mankind. Moliere, the French playwright, wrote a play called The Misanthrope, and it's about a guy who hates everybody. And when you are being that way, you are being misanthropic.
So that's 2 words.
Yes.
Is it 2 words?
The best Scrabble word I ever got was onomatopoetic.
Oh, come on.
You know what an onomatopoeia? No, you know what an onomatopoeia is?
No.
It's a word that sounds like what it is: like crash, bang, whiz,
Okay.
whoosh.
Right.
It's a word that sounds like
All right,
what
I-
it actually is.
I get
So
that.
you
So-
read it whoosh.
Right.
That's an onomatopoeia, spelled ONOMATOPIA. And then when you use that, you're being onomatopoetic. And so the word poetic was already on the Scrabble board, and I put on ONOMATO. So I got 50 points bonus, and then I got that was a triple. I must have gotten 150 points from that word.
How do you even remember?
I can't
any
forget
of
it.
this?
I
How do
can't
you
forget it.
not only how he remembers the words, he remembers the game he played.
I remember-
and how many points he got on a Scrabble.
I have a very strange memory. I have a photographic memory for some things.
Yeah.
And then other things I couldn't tell you. Now, where did we meet? Did I fuck you? Do you know what I mean? It's like I can't remember. Because we meet people on ships or in the comedy clubs. I mean, we're very well traveled, and we meet people all the time. And people will come up to me, "Jim, it's so good to see you," and I'm like, hello there. I can't remember. But I can remember shit like onomatopoetic. That I can remember. I can remember all the lyrics to songs that are just these obscure songs, you know.
Isn't it fascinating that
It's just
actually
very
there are
strange.
some things that you remember, like maybe a conversation that you had when you were 5 years old with somebody, and they don't remember that conversation, and then 20 years in your maybe somewhere in your 20s, somebody said, "Hey, you remember when you and I got together?" And you're like, "I don't even know who you are."
Do you remember the first movie you ever saw as a little boy?
I think it was Jaws.
What? What?
I remember that.
No, you were already.
When you say what, it reminds me of your act.
What?
What?
What? Jaws was 1977. You already had to be a teenager by then. What year were you born?
The reason why
Yeah,
you were
exactly.
a teenager.
But what about when you were a little boy, like below 5? Do you remember?
I don't think we did that.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we.
Because
did
my parents took me to a drive-in movie to see a movie called The Misfits with Clark Gable, Marilyn Monroe, and Montgomery Clift. And it was on a double feature with a movie with Jane Mansfield called The Girl Can't Help It, which was about it was a rock and roll movie. So The Misfits was boring. It was in black and white. It was a Western, and I fucking hate Westerns. Fuck it. Fuck The Misfits.
How about Clint Eastwood's?
Huh? I don't like it. No, I don't like even Clint Eastwood's. I don't like the West. I don't. Ugh.
But
It's
see,
dirt.
I'm actually still stuck on the question: what was my first movie?
What do you know? What it was? You can't remember? Was
Well,
it a cartoon? Was it Snow White? Was it something with birdies and chickies and duckies and little Bambi?
When we were kids in Jersey City, New Jersey, we were watching the Bowery Boys on a Sunday.
Oh yeah.
If you remember that.
Your first movie was Taxi Driver. Yeah.
No. I
You
think
talking
it was
to me?
No, wait a minute.
Are you talking to me?
If you're going to go with memorable movies and things that you thought you were, Jaws,
Yeah.
Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when we went to go see Rocky, people were screaming and cheering. Get him, Rock! Get
1976.
him,
Yeah.
Rock!
Mhm.
You know, I remember when we saw Jaws, you didn't go to the beach for years.
I know.
You didn't even want to go to the beach. He could
It
get
was like in Psycho, people stopped taking showers.
Yeah.
Remember? Because
that
that
was
was
Stinky World.
that was really a scary like a watershed moment in movies.
Yes.
Is all of a sudden the leading lady who she's the whole star of the movie and she gets killed within 35 minutes.
See, I can't think of what the first movie.
Oh,
Maybe
well,
it was a cartoon.
Okay.
But I would say Jaws.
When you figure it out, come back with it because you're wasting valuable time.
Yeah. This was leading us into, I guess, favorite plays because you could see the play Grease on this ship.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the ships that are this size, you could
they have full
Hairspray,
full Broadway
Chicago.
productions. They've got Hairspray, Chicago, Cats, Mamma Mia, Saturday Night Fever on the Liberty. That's Saturday Night Fever.
Really?
Yeah, the whole, and it's a good production.
I didn't see that.
It's a real good production.
Oh, you know
too.
what production I saw on a few of the ships was something about Elton John, and shit, I'm never going to remember. It was a great. I think they made it up. They wrote their own play.
Oh, okay, okay.
A Royal Caribbean play.
Oh, okay.
But you said there was parts of Grease, let's say the movie, not this play, because we support our fellow entertainers,
Yes, we do.
whether we like the play or not. We cheer them on.
Mm-hmm.
What didn't you like about Grease?
I don't like the whole show because I don't like what it says to young people. Because what it says is, you notice in Greece, Sandy is the little virginal blonde girl, and the girls even make fun of her with a song that goes, "Look at me, I'm Sandra D, lousy with virginity,"
Right.
you know. And so she's the innocent young girl, and she's sort of an outcast because of it. And so at the end of the show, she becomes a pink lady and comes out in tight black legs and with her hair all done up, and so she's just a slut, just like all the other girls. And so the show Grease says, if you want to be accepted, be an idiot like everybody else. And that's what I hate about that show. And I hate all the characters in it. I hate them. I hate Danny. I hate Kaniki. Fucking Duty and Sonny. Fuck them. I want to beat the shit out of them. I hate them. And the girls, you know, they're horrible, horrible teenagers. Horrible. The music is great. No, see, the music is really fun. But I remember I saw that show on Broadway in the original run of it, not with the original cast. It was toward the end, and by then they looked like 30-year-olds on the stage, and they're supposed to be high school kids. But I just
they looked like they were in their 30s when they were supposed to be in high school in the movie.
Well, in the movie, Stockard Channing was 34, and she played
she
Rizzo.
really?
Yeah, and she played Rizzo. She was 33, 34, something like that. But I just don't like. I don't like what Grease. I think it's an icky thing for young people to see because they walk out of Grease and they go, "Gee, you know, maybe if I just am like everybody else, then maybe some people will accept me." Now in Hairspray, which is on another ship, the heroes of that show are the fat people and the black people. So that's what I like.
So it's the reverse.
It's the reverse. So the Hairspray is the hero is a fat girl, a fat high school girl, and that's great.
Well, you know, when they did the play that I saw Hairspray on one of the... We're going to go into this little subject matter about people who cause havoc on a ship. So they were watching Hairspray, this audience, and I think in Hairspray they threw out into the audience these glow sticks, little tiny glow sticks. And some lady got mad because her kid didn't get a glow stick. So the girl who was the lead in Hairspray comes to my show, this was on the Oasis, and says, "There's a bunch of people coming here to heckle you. Can you get even with us? Because we can't talk back to the audience." And I go, "Why would somebody be so nasty?" And she actually said, because the nastier they are, the more free shit they get.
That's right.
So they come to the show, and the lady began to heckle me with the cast of Hairspray watching what I would do. So I pulled a little trick. I didn't say anything to the woman. I made fun of her husband. "This is your problem, pal." And I went after the husband. And they can't complain because we're there to do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe that someone actually would complain to get something, like a free
Oh
cruise.
man, are you kidding? They complain about that all the time. Like there was this one time that there was an excursion, right? And they were in this boat, in this little boat with like 30 people on the boat. One idiot on the boat decides that he's going to, he doesn't want to wait to go to the bathroom. Motor.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh.
he got really seriously injured. I mean, in the water by the outboard motor. And so this traumatized everybody on the ship. And so half of them showed up at the front desk. They wanted a free cruise because they were traumatized. But they didn't.
Well,
they
that's a
didn't.
little weird.
They didn't care about the guy that nearly got his legs chopped off from the fucking propeller.
How do you even do that?
Well, because you're an
What the
idiot.
fuck are you thinking about?
Because these people are idiots.
People do some crazy shit.
Oh my god.
And there are some people, I told you, the lady coming out of the elevator on a scooter backed into another lady on a scooter going on. And they started an argument. She's like, get away from me. She goes, you hit my car. And they go, get out of the way. Well, why don't you back up? And there's a bunch of people trying to get on the elevator. They just stepped right over those people just to get on the elevator.
I got hit by a morbidly obese woman in a scooter once. She hit me. She was in the casino. She just wham right into me.
There are some people.
And then I had a show to do, and I'm walking to the show. I walk on stage, and I'm limping.
Speaking of limping, he had some surgery done recently.
Oh man, yeah.
You tell everybody about
Well,
that.
I mean, in April, I had a really bad foot condition, and my left foot had no more support. You know how your foot's like that? Well,
Right.
mine gradually went like that, and so it was. I was leaning to the side. I had no support. It had to be fixed. So I had full reconstructive foot surgery in April, and so that meant that I was completely off my feet for 2.5 months. I was on a knee scooter. You know, one of those scooters that you scooter, but I couldn't put any weight on my foot at all. So, quiz. When you can't put any weight on one of your feet, what's the hardest thing to do at home? What do you think the hardest thing is?
Put clothes on.
No. I'll make it easy. Getting on and off the toilet. Think about it. No, think about it.
Yeah, you only got
And
that.
so we had to have those handles installed on the toilet.
On the toilet.
And so now they're still there, and Dan, my husband, wants to take them down, and I'm like, no, keep them, because I can, it's like, I love it. Our apartment looks like a nursing home. It does.
Where do
And
you
it's
actually get the scooter?
it's got a I ordered it online, and it was delivered.
The doctor don't give it to you?
No, I had to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the insurance didn't pay for it either. It was $150.
And then what do you do with it when you
I gave it to somebody who needed it.
Yeah.
And then he gave it to somebody who needed it, and I don't know where it is right now. But I paid it forward, so that's not the kind of thing you throw away. You know what I mean? I don't want to throw away a scooter.
In our little conversation about him having his foot fixed,
But now I'm limping.
he's doing all right now.
I'm doing all
feeling
right.
better. You got some problem on the other side that you were telling me over at dinner.
Oh, I got a rip in a muscle, and I got the arthritis in my heel, and I got the fit.
We
It's
both do a bit of a joke of some anal leakage.
the anal leakage. Yeah.
I like the way Mike was talking about anal leakage.
No. Mike was talking about Lipitor.
Yeah.
Mike was talking about Lipitor, and then that reminded me.
He went right into his.
No, I did a joke. I did a joke where I said I'm on a social anxiety drug called Paxil, and a side effect of it is anal leakage, and I feel great. I just can't leave the house. So that's the joke, right? I did that on a Welcome Aboard show, which is a G-rated show on a ship where there's lots of kids there. And I didn't think anything about it, but evidently 50 people got offended, and they wrote on their complaints, did not like the anal leakage. And then they sent them all the complaints to the office in Miami, and the Miami office called up the ship and said, what the fuck is this? What's with the anal leakage? What's going on? Is there like an outbreak? Do we need to quarantine?
Seriously,
Yeah.
some of the drugs that they have out today that are supposed to be good for you, the side effects are ridiculous.
Oh, I was taking a pill for psoriasis called Otesla. You see it advertised on the news.
It's a song, right?
I don't
jingle.
know. It could be. But it was-
No, that's Ozempic. Ozempic.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, a side effect of it, and I'm not you don't know me that well, but you can tell I'm not a depressed person.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm pretty up, and I don't get depressed. I get tired and moody, but I don't get depressed. But the Otesla, a side effect of it is diarrhea and depression. So I stopped taking it because I was in a terrible mood and I hated myself and I had the squirts. So
Yeah, he always seems like he's in a great mood.
I was depressed and shitting. Just, I can be. Listen, I could
I'm
be.
so
in the,
depressed. I'm such a shitty mood.
and just I have to shit 5 times. I could have been in the water and I wouldn't need an outboard motor. That's how much I was shitting.
You mentioned that you're married.
Yes, I am.
Okay. 90%
Yes,
are married couples.
that's correct.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And on this ship,
And they are hetero married couples, and I
Okay.
am a homo married couple. That's right.
well, they also have singles meetings on this
Yes, they do. They have singles.
and they also have LGBTQ
LGBTQIA, yes.
But I don't think they're meetings. They're
They're
socials.
just get-togethers.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
go there.
it's like all the homos are going to show up at the schooner bar at 10 o'clock.
That's right. They have it in the school.
Allegedly, and then you'll go and nobody's there except,
Well,
some
it actually
cow.
says
Unhosted.
unhosted.
Yes.
Means you do your own thing.
Just show up.
Imagine when there and say, "Hey, everybody, I'm the host for
Of
the
of
LGBTQ."
Where are my fags? Where are my fags? What
I
did you want
didn't
to know
say
about?
that.
What did you want to
He
know
said
about the
that.
marriage? What did you want to know?
He's been married for quite some time.
Well, I've been married since 2012. So
Oh, I thought you said you were together like 35
we're together 33 years.
Oh,
but,
33
But
years.
we were domestic partners after we could be legal domestic partners after like 4 years in the early 90s. We became domestic partners because that's all we could get. And that meant that I could visit him in the hospital or I could visit him in prison.
You know what that means?
That's what it meant. So that was as legal as we could get. It came with a few things. But it wasn't a marriage. It was just bullshit.
When did the marriage laws change? In New York City?
2015. No, I'm sorry, in 2012. 2011. And that's one thing. Andrew Cuomo just went down. He was the governor of New York. But I will always love him because he really pushed for marriage equality in the state of New York. And
Right.
so it was directly because of Cuomo that the legislature passed marriage equality in 2011, which is when they told us, Dan's insurance company told us, because I'm on his insurance, and his insurance company said, you have no more of this domestic partner shit. If you want to insure it, you have to be legally married. So I was forced into a gay marriage by Empire Blue Cross Blue Shield of New York.
This is really great, though, that you can have that.
Yeah, it's
You're
really
on.
cool.
Why are you on his insurance plan?
Because it's great.
What does he have? Like
He's got a big company. He's in a huge company, and they've got top insurance. I mean, listen, it's a good thing I've got it because my foot operation was $86,000.
and the insurance took care
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. The hospital charged the insurance company. I was in the hospital for about 7 or 8 hours. The operation was 4 hours. Then I was asleep, and then I woke up, and then I had about 2 hours of recovery, and then I went home.
Wow.
And that was it. One day, the hospital charged $213,000. I know because I saw the bill. They
One
sent
day?
it to me. Yes, one day. That was what they charged the insurance company, $213,000. And they of course they always charge a ridiculous amount, but then they ended up paying the hospital. The hospital, the insurance company paid the hospital $49,000, $49,000 for an 8-hour visit, and then my surgeon got $36,000.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's tough in general to get insurance
Yeah.
without being under a family plan, a
Mhm.
married plan. We're entertainers.
Yeah.
So I used to get Screen Actors Guild insurance, and then I didn't make enough money within the union,
Yeah.
so now I'm on my own. But I have Blue Shield out of California.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're on ships like this, we're supposed to have an insurance plan that covers us as entertainers in case we get electrocuted by the microphone.
Yeah, exactly. Or if we die, or if we have a heart attack and die, what are they going to do with the body?
How's that?
You have to have an insurance. You have to have an insurance policy that. What's the feature called? It's the transportation of remains. Yes.
I thought we had insurance because we can get hurt.
There's
as
that.
entertainers.
No, but there's also protecting
Like
the
a
company.
light can fall out of the ceiling
Yeah,
and crush
but
you.
also protecting the company in case we die. They've got to
Right.
do something with our shit, and it's going to cost money.
They're gonna do something with our
They
shit.
got to do something with our
Yeah,
shit.
scoop it up.
Yeah, scoop it up.
I think it's incredible that we have to have these insurance plans because what if you have to be not evacuated? What do you call it when a helicopter comes and gets you?
Medevac.
Medevac. I still need to find that deck because I want to do a
Yeah.
morning walk from
Sure.
that deck.
Sure.
So we were talking about his marriage, and he's obviously married to a gentleman. His name is Dan.
That's right.
But you were telling me, and you don't have to share this, but I hope you will for everybody. the difference between performing on a ship, performing in a club, performing in a theater, and what had happened to you when you were telling me about how somebody complained about what you did on stage.
Oh well, no. When I first started working on ships back in 2003, the company hired me knowing that I'm an openly gay performer and that I'm honest about it, and I talk about it on stage and I make jokes about it, and they hired me knowing that that was the case. And people would complain to the front desk, and they would say, we didn't, like this one guy went up to the front desk and he said to the woman, we didn't pay all this money to see a gay comedian. And the woman behind the counter said, yes, you did. But people would complain, yeah. Mm-hmm.
See,
they would absolutely complain.
Just to let everybody know, the funniest comedy that a comedian could portray
is what really happened.
Your real life.
Yeah.
If you talk about something that doesn't exist, you
show and walk out and flip me the bird. Yeah. Because so that's why I cut out all politics. You haven't seen me do any politics this week, have you?
No. I love your routine.
I haven't done any of it.
One of my favorite bits, routines, if you don't mind, maybe we can indulge.
What?
How about your joke about the ship that you were on?
Yeah. Well, the first time I was on this class of ship, this guy was walking around. It was the maiden voyage of the Oasis, and it was the biggest ship at that point. It was the biggest ship in the world, and nobody had ever seen a ship this class before. And it really is quite an amazing ship.
This ship's amazing.
It's astonishing,
unbelievable.
And this guy was walking along the promenade, and he said, "This ship is a motherfucker." And I immediately thought, what a great marketing opportunity. Name the next ship Motherfucker of the Seas. You'd all book it just to impress your friends. You know what? You're on the Princess? I'm on the Motherfucker. I have to go. It's 8:30. It's 8:29. So I've got to go begin our show tonight.
Jim's going downstairs because the show starts in 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
So I'm going to keep on talking.
Yeah.
And when he's on stage, I'm going to say bye-bye, and then I'm going to go downstairs because we get along really, really well. We flip-flop the show. Mm-hmm. He goes first, I go first. It doesn't really matter long as we're having fun.
Yep.
So thank you so much for coming and
welcome.
hanging out.
Pleasure.
I'll see you downstairs.
It's a pleasure to be on your little skit. That's what they call it. Is
this your skit?
Is this your little skit?
It's so cute.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Take it easy, man.
Yep.
I'll see you in a little bit.
All right.
Kill him.
I'll do my best.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you could applaud nice and loud, that's my friend Jim David, who's in the show with me all week here on the Harmony of the Seas. And I hope everybody can hear me okay. I hope this broadcast is coming out just right. Love your yearly gig at Showplace in Beach Haven. In Canada, it's all free. Greece. Okay, so everybody is listening and hearing. Hey, listen, everybody. If anybody wants to sponsor one of my shows live from my mother's basement, which we record here on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, then my producer, Tatiana Blue Shell, puts it on all the social media outlets like YouTube, Instagram, my website, Twitter, LinkedIn, Patreon, iTunes, Google, Spotify, Anchor, Italian American Radio, you name it. We put this show on everything. Tonight's show is sponsored by Diablo Moon. And here with me on the ship, I have a few products. I love the hats. It's a baseball style type cap. Diablo Moon. It comes with matching shirts. I know they got these winter ones. I didn't bring it with me on the ship because I'm going to the Caribbean and it's going to be hot out, but it looks like this. It's absolutely fantastic and dynamite. I also have a pizza pie cutter, and I have a sleeve that you put wine bottles in. It comes with these beautiful chalices and brand new candles. I'm going to read from the proper paperwork right now. I don't have all these products with me, obviously, because I'm on a ship. But next week, when I get back to Los Angeles, California, and the following week when I get back to New Jersey, we will talk more about this great sponsorship package that I have from Diablo Moon. Diablo Moon brings you the ultimate lifestyle culinary craftware, cutting boards, wine accessories, and apparel for you to live your best life. Just add wine. All right? Now introducing is Diablo Moon, the candles. These signature scented candles with notes of cedar and balsam fir, orchestrated and hand selected by Wicked Good Candles for Diablo Moon, meant to emulate the scents and smells of Mount Diablo in the East Bay. This candle is natural, clean, and long burning, no shoot, just perfect. And all these products can be purchased at diablomoon.shop. We make fun of the fact that it's not .com, it's not .net, it's actually .shop, which is really, really great. I should sell my products on .shop. diablomoon.shop, proud sponsor of Mike Marino Live from my mother's basement. And they're actually making all my new shirts for 2022. We're coming out with new shirts, new hoodies, new pants, new underwear, and maybe flip-flops, and definitely some masks. All right, so let's see who's writing into the show before I get downstairs and get ready to do my show. Amy Miller, it's nice to see you. Starting her career as a comedian in Long Island, New York. Angelina, thank you so much for saying hello. Dora, haven't seen or heard from you in a long time. Thank you so much for all your great wines from your winery up in Northern California. Sharon Pfeiffer, very, very funny female comedian, doing great stand-up work throughout Florida right now. Maybe you saw her on a show with me at Governor's Comedy Club in Long Island, New York. You probably definitely saw her on stage with me at the Raz Room in Boca Raton a couple of weeks ago with my cousin Pete Lemongello Jr. Missy Wheaton, how you doing? Lisa Edgy Martinez. Hey, you and I need to talk. Haven't had a chance to get in touch with you. The guy from Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Oh, Sharon says that my friend Jim sounded like Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. What was that guy's name? Anyway, Darlene, it's nice to see you. Gina Marie, thank you so much for writing in. Hello, everybody. Nick Morelli, hello from Australia. No, it's not. That's called thievery. Unless they're going to do it with their friends and impersonate you and say that that's where they got that joke. Love your yearly gig at the show place in Beach Haven. Oh, that's actually the show in Beach Haven that you're talking about is the surf. For writing in and talking about that. Here I am in my gorgeous room on this beautiful flagship called the Harmony of the Seas. I've been doing my morning walk every morning so you guys can see what it looks like to enjoy a great vacation that goes to the Caribbean. Now, on one side of the Caribbean is Dutch, on the other side of the Caribbean is French. And get paid to do it. Let me hit a couple of topics before I get out of here, because I have to go downstairs and do a show too. Today, it's 80 years since the bombing of Pearl Harbor. Anybody been to the museum or the outdoor in Hawaii? I believe it's Hawaii. Why am I drawing a blank? Anyway, Pearl Harbor. Could you imagine what that would have been like? Anyway, so it's 80 years to the day that Pearl Harbor was bombed. And we talked about my friend Ed, what's going on in his life. He really likes West Side Story. And quite honestly, he was singing the lyrics to West Side Story. It was absolutely fantastic. And he does have role, fun, and educational to listen to. The current frame rate is too low. Please set the frame rate. Uh-oh. I hope I'm not running into problems. I paid extra money to do this podcast tonight. Break a leg. We were neighbors in Belmar in the 80s, Montego Bay. Harold Kochansky. Harold, why don't you write to me in my inbox, Harold? Because we're going to be doing a documentary on my life on 9th Avenue on the Jersey Shore. This is something you're going to want to write to. I can't remember your name off the top of my head, but for you to say that, we were neighbors in Belmar in mid-'80s, Montego Bay. Yeah, at a time where the world was having fun. I miss the 80s, man. I'd give anything to be 175 pounds. I'd give anything to have a full flock of hair flowing down my shoulders. The only care I had in the world was, is there going to be waves? Can I go to the but that? Now, of course, we're all older and we worry about COVID-19. We worry about our parents getting older and passing away. We worry about so much shit that I'm starting to get bags under my eyes, wrinkles. I don't know whether I'm coming or going, and I can't. Here's what's going on in my career. I have a movie out right now, and you could watch it on Vizio. Okay? You could also see it on iTunes. It's called Four Cousins and a Christmas. It stars one of my favorite actors and friends, Robert Davi, Terry Polo, Nick. Four lead girls are all really, really fantastic. I can't think of everybody's name off the top of my head, but you're going to love and enjoy this Christmas film. Okay, check it out. There's Maria Cap, who's the producer and creator, and her two daughters. I hope I get this all right. I can't think of everybody's name off the top of my head. There's Natasha, Ayala Ayala K, fantastic cast. To check it out, okay? I'm actually going to have to put it out on all my social media so that you guys can see that this is a great, great Christmas feel-good movie. I come back to Los Angeles for 48 hours. I'm on my way to Orlando, Florida. I get to Florida this for Dick Capri. Dick Capri is a comedian who's been around for quite some time, and that roast is going to be with a plethora of great comedians at the Raz Room, 7 o'clock this Sunday night in Boca Raton. Then I'm going to LA. From LA, I'm going to Cabo St. Lucas. From Cabo St. Lucas, I'm going to New Jersey. In New Jersey, my last show of the year is going to be at the world famous Catch a Rising Star in Princeton, New Jersey, in the ballroom. You get dinner, you get noisemakers, balloons, music, DJ, dancing. You could stay in the hotel. It's at the Hyatt Regency. And yours truly will do a nice 1-hour performance, and I'll bring in the new year. Next year, if you want to know when I'm coming into your neighborhood, I'm going all around the world. Just go to MikeMarino.net. I hope you will subscribe here on my fan page. I hope you will subscribe to my YouTube channel. I hope you will subscribe to Twitter, Instagram, and now TikTok. Nice big shout out to my producer, Tatiana Blueshell, who always makes sure that the show comes out every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. And once the show is done, it goes on all the social media outlets, and you can have some fun watching shows from the past and shows that are coming up in the future. Wednesday, you read what's going on. I'm also on Patreon, and I'm also on Cameo. Do you want me to wish somebody a Merry Christmas for you? Do you want me to tell somebody to go fuck themselves for you? It's not a problem. It's only $25. Mike Marino on Cameo. Listen, I got to go downstairs. The show's just about on a cruise ship. It's unheard of. I'll see you tomorrow morning for the morning walk. Stay in touch. One more time to the sponsor, Diablo Moon, for making this possible. Thank you to my friend comedian Jim David for being on the show. And one last sign off. and a web series called Make America Italian Again. In fact, if you guys would like to be on my show, if you would like to sit next to me, all you have to do is write to Tatiana, Mike Marino Entertainment at gmail.com, and let her know why you'd be a great guest on this show. Would you like to Tatiana, tell her why you want to be on a show. Would you like to be a sponsor of one of these shows, which also includes live performances? Mike Marino Live at gmail.com. Everybody else, keep the cards and letters coming. Mike Marino Fans at gmail.com. Nothing. And don't take no shit from nobody. Good night. Hey folks, I hope you're enjoying watching my podcast live from my mother's basement. We're having a lot of fun, and I'm going to have a lot of great guests on the show in the future. So if you like it, hit like. You could also leave a comment. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch other funny videos. And you could also listen to my podcast on your favorite podcast app like Spotify and iTunes.